Well, hello, folks. Hello. Here we go again. More animation. We are getting closer to the end of our little scene here. It is the 12th of August, a Tuesday, and we are nearing the end of finishing up this scene, which is one scene away from finishing up the opening intro on the film that I'm working on right now. And I mentioned to you that we've got at least one other drawing we can copy here. So with the head on our little guy, let's grab the color head from this and we'll do a copy paste onto the next drawing. So we'll go copy, next drawing, and paste. Then we'll move it so that it lines up. Get the eyes lined up. There we go. Now we'll have to go big on this so that we can see what to take out with our eraser, because we need to get rid of color edges here that don't match. So we want to erase stuff right on the edge there. Yeah, you can see that's the downside of copy paste when you've got color, because you can't really see the you can't see through the color. You know, onion skin's not gonna get you over on that one, so you're pretty much stuck, until you erase out anything that you didn't want from the previous copy. All right, so, but the copy paste is very, very helpful. As you can see, it's very helpful if you're if you've got something that you can use, that you can copy paste, that you can actually use. It is very helpful. So, and it works with color, so that's good. There we go. So let's see. Right. Oops. It's going behind. Yes, good. It sure is hard, though, to see ahead of yourself on a line that you're making. Your hand is covering the area that your line is going to make. That's no fun, because you can't see, where your hand is over the line. So that's a little frustrating, or it can be. But an occupational hazard. Sometimes I can look underneath my hand to see where that line is. Yeah, tricky business. I'm just jumping to color only because I'm just I'm in the mood to do that. Oops, that line went a little wonky. Okay. Um, be aware that the way that companies are creating software today for animators and for people who use their computers a lot, it's a little, in my opinion, a little disingenuous to charge people subscription fees for everything, because I just think it's just, well, I feel that it's just unnecessarily taking advantage of um, the consumer. That's just my opinion. Um, I was talking to one of my students this morning. I have a class, animation class with one of my students, and she was talking about the Toon Boom Harmony, which is a great program, by the way. But she'd mentioned something that I wasn't aware of, was that the Toon Boom Harmony now, I think, in fact, I think all of the Toon Boom products, if I don't miss my guess, are now, um, apparently, they are now only subscription. You can't buy them. Which I'm sad to hear that because they're going the way of Adobe clearly, and this is the reason why I don't. One of the reasons that I don't have Adobe, I don't I don't buy Photoshop anymore. I mean, I don't. Well, for one thing, I don't use Photoshop like I used to before, and it's primarily because it's only subscription, and of course, the only reason that it is so they can charge you for it. Sorry, Adobe, but you're not being genuine here because artists, need their software. They need to be able to work. And for you to just charge because you can, because we don't have a choice about it, is disingenuous. And now you've got other companies doing the same thing. Now you've got Toon Boom doing it, and I just think that's terrible because software and everything else that we've got is already expensive enough. The last thing we need for you guys to do is make things more expensive for us. So, okay, that's all I'll say about that. um, I'm going to say that for all of you out there, especially you young people who are, young budding animators, um, you know, get the free software. I mean, buy Procreate. Or I'm sorry. Get the free software. There's a lot of open source stuff that you can get for free. That's true. But buy your software. Buy Procreate because you can afford it. Buy Rough Animator because you can afford it. Um, yeah, buy those softwares. Hopefully they won't start doing the same thing that Adobe and the rest of them are doing. I mean, I own Procreate's great software. It's reasonably priced. Procreate and Procreate Dreams, both very reasonably priced programs, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. So buy those. You can animate in Procreate. Rough Animator is a great program. Yeah, I believe the person who created it is an animator, so there's a good reason why you'd want to buy it. Um, Open Tunes is an excellent program. It's open source. You don't have to pay for it for now. At some point you might have to, but there are programs that you don't have to pay for. Krita, I believe, is open source. Blender is open source, and Blender, of course, is a 3D program, but you can do 2D work on it. I don't know if TV Paint has gone to the way of the subscription. I wouldn't be surprised if it has. Um, I've seen TV Paint in operation. I've played with it, and it's an excellent program. In my opinion, it's probably certainly just as good as Toon Boom, if not better in some ways, but it depends on what you're using the softwares for. Every software has got some advantage to it. So I guess, decide you should decide what makes the most sense for you. Okay? That's what you should do. Decide what makes the most sense for you. I'm going to do something a little different right now since I know um, that the last three heads on this are going to be the same. I'm going to go ahead and paint the face and the lips here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this back to a smaller size so you can see the whole thing there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just grab the head and I'm going to go copy, go to the next frame, paste. because I know I can go right here and just pull it down to where it's going to be, and I'll go to the next one and go paste again. And now you see I've automatically got all my heads done. See, I've got ding, 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 ding. That's all done. Look at that. Zing, bang, boom. That saves some time. So now I just, I can probably whip. I bet you I can whip through this pretty fast. So let's see. So let me go big on the, yeah, okay. So let's pull the hand out here. We want black for the hand. There. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, just use, take advantage of using the any type of software that's going to allow you to either purchase it and then have that software be something reasonable. I bought Storyboard Pro several years ago, and it was expensive. It cost me about a little over $1,000. But at the rate that they're wanting, they're charging you guys 75 freaking bucks a month subscription for Storyboard Pro. I mean, come on, that's just crazy. Okay, it's crazy. So I'm sorry, dude, but I've just got to tell them. It's like it's. I don't think that's nice. I think that's pretty. That sucks. Okay, that's my take on it. Okay, I don't have to like it, but it's not good. It's not good because Toon Boom is a great software. It's a great software. But for them to, you should just buy. Because I mean, I bought Toon Boom Storyboard Pro, and $1,000 was a lot of money to pay for it. I mean, I'm not going to kid you around about it. It was a lot of money. I didn't, but I had it at the time, so I went ahead and freaking bought it. And I understand that sometimes, I mean, and I'm hoping this doesn't happen. I do get updates on Toon Boom on my software, so hopefully my computer, I won't run into a situation someday where I have some problem. I mean, everybody is always looking for some way to get over on you financially, but if I had to pay 75 bucks a month for Storyboard Pro, there would just eventually come a time when I couldn't afford it. You know, the only way it would be sensible for me to spend that kind of money, would be if I had a job that could justify me buying Storyboard, paying for Storyboard Pro every month. You're going to pay way more than $1,000 for Storyboard Pro. If you're, in fact, in a year, you would have pretty much paid for $1,000 for it. So, yeah. So you see my point. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, it's freaking extortion. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, I'm ranting. I know, but as artists, we need our software, and we need the stuff that we use. Whether we're working or not. And so, anyways, anyways, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that the Toon Boom folks don't like the fact that I'm saying what I'm saying, but I don't really give a crap. The software is expensive, and if everybody could afford to buy it, that would make more sense. And for the kind of money that it normally did cost, it in some ways is actually cheaper for you to buy it. When you stop and think about it from that standpoint. So why not then just buy it, right? See, I should be able to do that on this one, right? probably paste. Yeah, look at that. Paste and paste. Look at that. Yeah. So, yeah. There's an easy way to do things and there's a hard way to do things. And for all of us hard-working animation artists that don't have huge pocketbooks, which describes most all of us, we need anything we can get to make our lives as easy as it can be. So there you go. Anyways, but I'm sharing that with those of you who don't know the situation with Storyboard Pro, with Toon Boom products. There was a time you could buy. I just looked online today to see, and sure enough, they don't sell the products anymore. You have to subscribe. And yeah, so that's why I say what I say. They know how good their product is, and they're not wrong. But greed is it's an issue. It really is. We'd all be a whole lot better if people weren't so quick about the greed, and looked to see how maybe, it's not like you're going to lose out on anything. It's not like that, if Toon Boom is selling Storyboard Pro and Harmony for whatever they sell it for. I mean, as I recall, I think Harmony used to sell for, I think, $2,200, I believe, which is a lot of money. But still, to pay, I don't know what they want, I think 75 or 130 some $3 a month for their premium version of Harmony. That's a lot. That's going to add up. Whatever Harmony would cost, you're paying way, 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 way more for it if you're buying it. If you're using it that way, it doesn't make sense. So, well, it doesn't make sense for the consumer. It makes perfect sense for Toon Boom. Yeah, we're going to make plenty of money. Yes, you are. On the backs of the poor, hard-working animation artists that just want to make it. So anyway, and I'm a teacher. I care about my students. I care about the young folks in the business. I used to be a young person in the business myself. So forgive me if I care. you know, Toon Boom, you'll get your money. Adobe, you'll get your money. People would buy it. Be fair. It ain't gonna kill you to be fair. you know. So, anyways, yeah. See how much faster this is. The copy paste really gives me some advantages there, doesn't it? Yeah, that's much faster. Boom and boom. Of course, I have to go back and fill in little gaps. I gotta watch that something isn't being missed. Some things you can't see right away, but they are there. Let's see. It's the last one here. How are we doing? Oh, this is going to be a short one today. Let's see. 200. Okay. Black. And the hand is black. The kid is black. The hand is black. Okay. Boom. There. Let's see. This hand over here is black. Yeah. So there we go. Blue for the sweater. I find that there's also two opportunities based on how you've animated something, there are all sorts of things that you might do in the course of animating and cleaning up and painting your scene that you find as means to save yourself time. Um, I was talking with, once again, with my student this morning about her. She's doing a film, and it came up. She asked me if I'd ever animated anything using Storyboard Pro, and I said yes, I had, because when I first got Storyboard Pro, I was curious about that, and I kind of thought seemed like you could do that, and so I tried it. And but when I first bought Storyboard Pro, I bought it when it first came out, and I believe, if I don't miss my guess, I believe that at that time, Storyboard Pro, the shortest exposure you could do on Storyboard Pro, I think it was either 2 or 3 frames, meaning that you could animate on twos, you know, which was kind of a cool idea when you think about it, because here you've got a program that will allow you to animate in that program and and do your final everything in that program. And so naturally I was like, well, hey, why not, baby? And so I did it, and it was really pretty cool. So if anyone has the question of can you animate in Storyboard Pro, and the answer is actually yes, you can. But what I will tell you though is there are, I believe, some limitations to it. I have a friend, Mike Milo, who was someone who I believe Toon Boom had hired to basically, I guess, represent their product. And, um, and Mike is extremely knowledgeable about Storyboard Pro, and I probably about any and all Toon Boom products. And so I did ask him pointedly. I said, "Well, is it? I mean, I know you can animate in Storyboard Pro. What I was curious about is like to what degree, like, can you, is there like a limit? In other words, if you're making a film, can you make your whole film using that one program?" And he said that it is possible. However, he said that there are limitations to how much the software will take, or in other words, much of a how much you can actually do in that software, like how long your film would be. If you've got a film and it's 20 minutes, that I could. It sounded like what he was telling me, that there's a limitation to how long you could make something happen, continuously. Now, as far as a storyboard goes, obviously, I guess you could make it as long as you like, because the storyboard is supposed to be drawings, black and white sketches, and simplified stuff, and you know, Pro can handle that for long periods of time. But a full blown animated thing done in Storyboard Pro, you'd be. It sounds like you'd be limited, but it's possible. And apparently, it could have been. They could have made the software to do that. And I guess Harmony is sort of a hybrid of that, because, as my understanding, I did take some Harmony classes, and my understanding with Harmony is that not only is it set up for the inverse kinetics, which allows you to create rigged drawings, which is what it's primarily used for. It also has the function of allowing you to do animation in a traditional sense in Harmony. So, and that will handle something larger. So, at least I guess it will. I don't know how far it'll go with finished color stuff, but if it's designed for animation, then that means that it more than likely could handle a much larger thing. So, alrighty then. So here we go. This is what we've got, and we're all done. Yes, indeed, all fini. Let's turn off our sketch layer there and look at this without the rough line underneath. Yeah, that's working fine. Working great. All right then. So we're all done with this scene, and we'll start on the next scene tomorrow. Looking good. All right, folks. Well, look, have a great week. Great week. Have a great evening, rather. Um, where am I here? I'm trying to find my. Where are you? I'm looking for my cursor. Where's my cursor? Oh, there's my cursor. All right, cursor. Well, okay. All right. So anyway, all right. I will see you all tomorrow. Once again, don't forget to thank God for your gifts and talents. We all have them, and the Lord has given us all individual special talents. Be thankful for that and always give Him credit. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.